sorry again about my internet. I don't know why it seems to really want to cut off when it's about time for the Zoom meetings. I'll check with my provider, so bear with me. I did though want to go over a few things that we would have talked about during that Zoom meeting, especially the weekly agenda. So you do have your sheet that shows all of the assignments, what they are. So for this meeting, we really would have done some cool things, and we'll do it tomorrow, don't worry. We're going to look at the Call of Duty video game that really is based around World War II. And what's so cool about it, I'm not into necessarily video games. I don't advocate violence, but what I like about this Call of Duty World War II game is that they wanted to make sure they kept the battles, the warfare, and the circumstances as close to reality as possible. So they actually interviewed people like historians, also people who were actually World War II survivors, to make sure that the video game mirrored real life. Again, the wartime, any wartime, is nothing to take lightly. And even though this is entertainment, this, I think, I really admired their due diligence in trying to make sure that they honored the men who served, men and women, but especially the men who served and died for this country, during World War II, but also abroad during the war. So I want to let you know that's one thing we'll do tomorrow. Also, though, we do want to look at two battles from World War II. The video I sent you earlier, please, please, please look at that video, but also take notes. You can choose those two battles. One is the Operation, or Barbarossa operation. The other one is, I think, the Battle of the Coral Sea, naval battle. So look at those two, take notes. If you want to use those two to write about, you'll need to write 2 paragraphs on either those 2 battles or any 2 battles from World War II that you select. I don't mind if you want to do 2 different ones, but we were also going to go over that. So don't forget your writing assignments. Some of you are really cranking it out. You ask for help, you get the help, but then you do it, and I applaud you. Applause, applause. Others seem to kind of just scrap the writing, move it to the side. The more you practice writing, the better you'll be at it, whether it's for a test, for college, for work. And believe me, it will come up. It will come up at work sometimes, to this very day. There are times when I have to write something and I have to think to myself, okay, right, how did I do that? How do I start? And it helps because I've had some practice over time. So please do that. Also, we wanted to look at a letter from a World War II soldier who mentioned not just the struggles, right, or the stress of war, not really the struggles on the battlefield, but the struggles he faced and others faced off of the battlefield, just being minorities. So African American soldier writing about some of those struggles that did not go away during World War II, even though they should have, right? That should have been a time where everyone could pull together, and the country's leaders, but just everyone in the country realized that we're all equal and that everyone deserves the same rights. However, right, we already know that the 125,000 African American soldiers that served, they did not realize that double victory. Yes, they helped the U.S. and the Allies win the war, but when they got back home, and even oftentimes in the military, they were not treated the same way. We know that, but this is one letter that goes over that in detail, and we can see, we can have proof that this is something that just has happened. It's sad, but it is reality. Also, though, I wanted us to go over some other things about World War II, which we'll get into tomorrow, as far as the weaponry, how warfare really took place, not just the battles, but actually what were the tactics. And even though, right, none of us plan on fighting or doing anything like this, I think it's really important to mention the way the warfare had changed, and really link that to the massive carnage that we see that comes out of World War II, as far as the death toll, the fatalities.